Hey guys, so I am going today. Yes, I am in the back of an ambulance. I am very sorry, but I was in the hospital. I had a problem with my J tube. It had a hole in it, and so I couldn't take any of my J tube medication. And about half my medications go through my J tube, so it was a big problem. And I had to go to the hospital and get it fixed, and it took a while. It's finally fixed. I'm on my way home. Everything's all right. I'm good. I needed to do this live so you could hear chapter 1 of Saving Destiny edited. This chapter is it's the original chapter 1. It just has a lot of edits in it. So it's really different than the chapter 1 that I read about a year ago. So I hope you all enjoy it. It starts off in Destiny's mom's perspective, in Bonnie's perspective. If you hear any beeping, I do apologize. I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about that. It's the heart monitor and the IV pumps. This IV pump is not as get along with as mine at home are. Alright, here we go. Alright, Mom. She was slipping from me fast, sliding into a world where no one could reach her. As far back as I can remember, Destiny has always loved stuffed animals. Every night, I would tuck her in bed and then say goodnight to each teddy bear and give each of them a pat on the head. If I forgot even one, Destiny would notice and wouldn't let me leave until all the teddy bears had been given their nighttime love tap. Her issues started becoming apparent around age 5, but we just kept hoping that she would outgrow them, or that she was just sensitive. Destiny would have episodes where the tag on her clothes would be too rough, or the playground, or a girl in the playground looked at her funny. This would set her off into a crying jag, where she would throw any objects in reach, rip up the carpets, slam doors, and even throw herself on the floor, kicking and screaming. She would be unable to calm down for hours. We tried taking toys away when she misbehaved. We tried rewarding her with small prizes like candy or fidget toys or bouncy balls on days she had fewer outbursts. Oh, hey guys, nice to hear you. Hey Leah, yeah, I'm doing good. We tried putting her in a room to limit stimuli, but that only made her carry on louder and longer. We were unaware that the most distressing stimuli were coming from within. As Destiny got older, Alan and I both felt like there was something Destiny was hiding from us. She had too many secrets crammed inside her, but we couldn't get her to spit them out. Alright, so now it switches to Destiny's perspective. Blinky is my special yellow stuffed Lammy. My parents tucked her in my crib with me the very first night they brought me home from the hospital. At first, she was almost as big as I was. Now, she fits in my arms to fill them up perfectly. I don't go anywhere without Blinky. Blinky knows things no one else in the world knows. I can talk to her in ways I can't talk to anyone else. Sometimes I can just think something and she immediately just knows it. She makes me feel calmed down inside, especially when the bad man is being very loud. The bad man scares me. He punishes me when I don't listen to him. Sometimes he sucks me in. That's when everything gets very dark, cold, and far away. I feel like I'm spinning really fast, and all I can hear is his cackling in my ears. Other times, he threatens me with knives. Sometimes, he says a whole lot of stuff at once and chops up my thinking. I just have to hold on to Blinky and hope the punishing stops. There's another man I hear, whose name is the storyteller. He narrates what I'm doing, thinking, and feeling. Like the narrator in George of the Jungle, gotten all creepy and maniacal. When he wants me to do something, he narrates me doing it. And I have to follow exactly what he says, or he and the bad man get really loud and punish me even longer. Other times, I'll hear random voices, chatter, or whispers, or I'll see blood gushing down from the ceiling, or cameras protruding from the walls. They mash up my thinking so bad that I don't know what I'm doing. So I just end up trying to do whatever I can to make it all stop. No one else can hear the bad man, the storyteller, the chatter, or the whispers. No one else can see the blood pouring down the walls, or the cameras that record every move. All of this has been happening since I was 5 years old. When I was 8, my stomach started hurting all the time. At first, it was a gnawing, burning pain. Then, it was a feeling of extreme fullness and bloating, along with sharper, crampy pains when I moved around too much after eating. I would eat my lunch at school because I knew lunchtime was for eating your lunch. So I would eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, an apple, and a little baggie of Cheez-Its with a water bottle. After I finished my lunch, I would feel so sick, kind of like I ate Thanksgiving dinner 3 times in a row, and then went to Friendly's and got a triple scoop ice cream sundae. My mouth would begin to water. My stomach would begin to heave. Desperately, I would run to the bathroom and barely make it there in time to throw it all up. The bad man said it was because I had poison in me. He had me convinced that I did. I tried to never let myself hug my mom for too long, in case the poison would spread to her. Halfway through the 3rd grade, I just gave up and stopped eating my lunch. In July, after the end of 3rd grade, when I had my 9-year-old checkup, where I had grown an inch but lost 4 pounds, my doctor's face got all pinched up, and her eyes got really serious. She needs to start drinking 3 Pediasures a day and come back in 6 months. If she hasn't gained any weight, we will have to start running a whole bunch of tests, she told my mom. The tests will show how crazy you are, and then no one will love you anymore, the bad man told me. I shivered and tried to ignore him. I would drink the Pediasure in the morning and throw up about half of it. Then, when I tried to eat my breakfast, my stomach hurt so bad and I was so nauseous and full feeling that I couldn't eat any of my breakfast. At lunch, I didn't even try to drink the Pediasure. I already knew I couldn't hold anything down at lunchtime. At dinner, I would try to drink the last Pediasure, but would only get a few sips in before I felt full to bursting and could feel the Pediasure sloshing around my stomach, threatening to come right back up. Some of it would make its way back up into my throat, and I would have to swallow its nastiness back down. I just can't, I would tell my mom. Just try, she would plead with me. I am, but I can't manage it. I'm going to throw up. I know, my mom would say, with so much sadness and worry in her eyes. 6 months later, my weight was down even further. I'm going to refer her to a pediatric gastroenterologist, my doctor told my mom. 2 weeks later, my mom brought me to the special knee doctor. He ordered a whole bunch of tests. I had to do a test where they brought me to the pediatric procedures unit. That night, before midnight, they let me stop trying to eat and drink stuff that made me so sick. When I got to the pediatric procedures unit, they brought me to a stretcher and had me changed into a hospital gown with tigers on it, and then put something called an IV in my arm. The needle poke hurt a lot, but I didn't let myself cry. Instead, I wanted to be brave. Instead, I hung on to Blinky and buried my face in her yellow fur. This test is called an endoscopy, the nurse who put the IV in my arm explained, as she put stickers all over my chest and hooked them up to wires that connected to a screen next to the bed. with numbers and spiky green lines on it. We are going to take you into the procedure room, and then the doctor is going to put a little plastic piece with a hole to breathe through it. Hold on a second. In your mouth to bite down on. After that, we'll squirt some happy juice medicine in through this IV line I just put into you. Will it hurt? I asked. Nope, it will just make you go to sleep. The next thing you know, you'll be waking up in the recovery room, and your mom will be right there, she explained. The bad man was trying to convince me that I was not going to wake up, that the happy juice medicine was going to poison me. The storyteller told me the same thing. Before I had a chance to say anything to anyone about stopping the test, they were bringing me into a big cold room with gleaming metal equipment, big TV screens with lots of numbers on them and lots of paper blue sheets. In the middle of the room was a big metal bed table. Can you climb on this table for us? Your little lamb can come too, one of the people in the room asked me. There was a stool next to the table. It had Disney characters on it. I loved Disney. Don't do it, hissed the bad man. I was shivering, and it wasn't from the cold room. I knew I needed to find out why I couldn't eat, and the special stomach doctor had explained that this was one of the most important tests. She stayed and refused to climb onto the pediatric procedures unit table, narrated the storyteller. For the first time in my life, I ignored them. Cradled and blinky, I shakily used the Disney stool to climb onto the table. As soon as I was on the table, they put the little piece in my mouth. It made me feel like I couldn't breathe. I started to get all panicky, but seconds later, the nurse told me she was giving me the happy juice. And then, I was opening my eyes, and I was in a different room, in a bed. And my mom was sitting next to me, in a chair, writing on her laptop. Before I could say anything